Hey guys, Brady here, and I just saw The Meg. So, The Meg is another shark movie. Um, and is it good? It's okay. I don't know. I thought The Shallows was okay. I think this is a little better than The Shallows. People are like, "Oh, The Shallows is like the best shark movie since Jaws," and I'm like, Deep Blue Sea is better. The Shallows. I don't know. I just didn't like how it was pretty much a one victim. Yeah, there was like that dude with the GoPro that got killed, but it's pretty much a one victim movie, and a one victim shark movie is just not a good shark movie. I want to see shark attacks and all that shit. I guess it's good on The Shallows for being like a survival movie because that's what it is at first. I just wanted. People are just saying it's like one of the best. It's like the best shark movie since Jaws. And I don't think it really deserves that praise. It was kind of let down, although, and plus the whole thing at the end with the way the shark bends, it bothered me because it's like, oh, that's clearly CGI. I don't think a shark can bend like that as it dies. I don't know. I'm not a shark expert. I used to be some sort of a shark expert when I was little. So I used to love sharks. But my memory is like bogged of shark facts. So maybe they could bend like that. I don't know. But it just bothered me. It took me out of the entire movie. Just that one scene at the end. It just looked fake. I was like, oh, that's clearly a CGI shark. Anyway, so back to The Meg. So The Meg is based off this book that came out in 1998. They were trying to make a movie since 2000, I believe, or 2002, and the movie just came out, or is just coming out in a couple days, and I got to see a screening for it. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I was super excited when I heard that they're making a movie based off this book, because I was like, as I kept seeing this book in like bookstores and stuff, and I was like, and I never thought this book would be a movie. And now it's a movie. I hope they make the sequels into movies. I don't think they will, but I want them to. But I've read the first maybe 20 or so pages of of the book. I enjoyed it. I didn't get to finish it because I was at school, and they needed me to read a book the last couple of days. I was in high school, and so I chose Meg, and I didn't get to finish it, unfortunately, and I wish I did. But from what I read, the movie is very different from the book, like extremely different. Like, the beginning of the movie doesn't begin how is not even close to what the beginning of the book was at all. There's in the book, Jonas Taylor is supposed to be like this like scientist. He's like some kind of like scientist. He also has like a lecture at this like institute that's nowhere to be found in this movie at all. But I guess it's taking lessons from Jaws, where Jaws is based off a book, and I feel like the Jaws movie is way better than the book. Jaws movie, I should say. I've read 80% of the book, and it's nothing like the movie. There are some scenes here and there that are in the movie, but other than that, the movie's completely different, and I think it's for the better. This, I don't know. I gotta finish Meg. I really want. I want to go to a bookstore right now and just buy the book. But so yeah, this movie stars Jason Statham. He pretty has like a pretty generic role in this movie. He's like the this one guy. He's Jonas Taylor. What's it called? He like it starts off with him and the group of these guys. They're underwater. They're in like the submarine. Something hits their submarine. You don't see it, and it cuts to like years later, and he's now in some like foreign country. He's like a drunk, and he's just down on his luck, and it's like, okay, this is a pretty generic action here, but whatever. You'll get over that real quickly. But the first half of this movie is just so kind of boring, actually. Like, nothing really exciting happens. You don't really get to see much of the shark until maybe an hour into the movie, and the movie's only an hour and no, you don't really see the shark till maybe like 45 to 50 minutes into the movie, and the movie's only an hour and 53 minutes. And when you do get to finally see the shark, it's pretty much just shark scene after shark scene, and then it gets better and better. It's just the buildup was just kind of boring. I mean, uh, if you remember, the buildup in Jaws was great, and this is just like the characters. Some of the characters were very wooden, but that's okay. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed Rainn Wilson's character. He was great. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of comic relief in this movie. There's like 2 or 3 comic relief characters. A lot of fake outs in this movie too. And I feel like the fact that this movie is PG-13 kind of ruined the movie a bit, because whenever someone did get attacked by a shark, it's very bloodless. Like, you just see the shark like zoom in onto the person. You see the teeth like chomp down, but you don't. Well, actually, you barely see the teeth chomp down. You just see the shark. Oh, and there's supposedly a human in its mouth, but you don't really see the impact of the human and shark, or the contact between human and shark. It just cuts, and it's very PG-13 of this movie. Like, I feel like we need shark movies that are R-rated, or at least on the brink of being R-rated. Um, just stuff like that. And the screening today, the screen was cut off a little bit. Like, there's like things you need to have read that appear on the screen, and it's just the screen was cut off. It was kind of weird. I went to people running the screening, and I was like, hey, can you like fix the screen? And they're like, all right, we'll get to it, and they did. And then there were subtitles in this movie. I couldn't read the subtitles because the bottom half of the screen was cut off. Like, there's maybe like a centimeter, or like literally an inch of the screen I couldn't see, which is the bottom. You don't really need to see the bottom of the movie unless there's subtitles, which there was. So I couldn't read the subtitles. I guarantee you there was an F-bomb in the subtitles. I guarantee it. I guarantee you, yeah. But whatever. Yeah. Once you get to see the shark, it's good. Like, I knew from the trailer that the shark was going to be really good looking CGI, because there's like that one shot where you just see it swim over that like submarine type thing, and you just see the scar. Like, okay, that's really good attention to detail on what sharks look like, because like I said, I used to like sharks when I was little, and the shark looked as realistic as possible. Everything, the texture, just everything looked so fucking realistic, and then I was just blown away by how realistic this looked. None of that Sharknado bullshit. Although I love Sharknado because of it's so good it's bad. But yeah. Oh, and there's a Jaws reference in this movie. I mean, I guess Steve Allen, the author of this book, pretty much just like took inspiration from both Jaws and Jurassic Park. But there is a Jaws reference in this movie. I'm gonna tell you what it is, as I feel like not a lot of people will pick up on it. It's a very subtle reference. The dog in the movie you see that may or may not get attacked by the shark is named Pippin, or Pippet, whatever. And Pippet is the name of the black lab in the movie Jaws. So be on the lookout for that. Or I already told you, so I don't really need to be on the lookout. But what is that? It's funny because Warner Brothers has these 2 big monster movies come out back to back, Kong and The Meg, and they both have Steven Spielberg movie references, and I like that. I like how they have homages to Steven Spielberg movies. Well, I mean, Sam Jackson was in both Jurassic Park and Kong, but Sam Jackson had used the line "Hold on to your butts," and I like geeked out during that scene in Kong. I was like, "Oh my god, that's from Jurassic Park." But anyway, so yeah, I didn't really get into what this movie is about. Jonas Taylor, I think his name is, Jason Statham's character, is like a scientist or whatever. him and like the group of these people, they have like this underwater bunker type thing, and they're pretty much looking for like a megalodon shark. And there's people don't think that that megalodon sharks exist, and so Jason Statham, and I guess some of the people are like, Jason Statham was like, I saw I saw a megalodon. This was the beginning of the movie. I saw a megalodon. I feel like you're crazy. Or that there's no such thing as a megalodon. They've gone extinct for years, and so yeah, they finally see the megalodon in all its glory, and yeah, they try tracking it. They do all the shark movie cliche. They try putting trackers in it. They try doing this, do that. They try doing this and that. Um, yeah, I I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the second and third act of this movie more than I enjoyed the last act of this movie because the last act was kind of slow. The first act was kind of lackluster. But after the first act, like when the second act kicks in, like when the second act comes up, the story kicks into high gear and it's just exciting from then on. Um, I just wish the entire movie was as exciting, but whatever. Um, yeah, there's also sort of another Jaws homage. I guess it's actually kind of a rip off, but I kind of like the way they ripped it off and ripped off Jaws in this movie because they did something different. They do something with the rip. They ripped it off, but then they like redeemed themselves in doing something different. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like the way they did. They like the way they handled that. Um, but yeah, the characters were okay. They're kind of cliched characters, especially Jason Statham's character. Um, the comic reliefs were really good. Um, and the shark look looked realistic, and that's a big thing with sharks. You need to make it look in shark movies. You need to make the sharks look realistic. Like the sharks looked realistic in Deep Blue Sea. The sharks look realistic in the Meg, Jaws. Well, Jaws is set the 70s, but I guess it still kind of looked realistic. They did what they did in 75, 74 when they were filming the movie. Um, the Shallows, the shark looked realistic except for that one scene at the end. So I'm going to give the Meg 3.5 out of 5 stars. The whole beach scene that they keep advertising, that's literally the last 10-15 minutes of the movie. So yeah, that's like the last 15 minutes of the movie.